a different puzzle, or I always have a different dress on. I've never worn the same dress twice in 30 years.
For more than 40 years, Vanna White stood beside Pat Sajak and made their chemistry look easy. But the smiles, gowns, and quick jokes only showed part of the story. Away from the puzzle board, Vanna faced heartbreak, broken promises, family pain, career pressure, and choices she rarely explained in public. Through it all, Pat remained beside her, which only made the whispers louder. Were they perfect television partners, or was there something fans never fully understood? The truth is less obvious than the rumors, and far more personal. Even after decades together, one question followed them, and neither could escape it. Join us as we look beyond Vanna White's famous smile and uncover the private choices, painful turns, and untold truth behind the partnership television made legendary. The small-town girl behind the famous smile. Vanna Marie White was born on February 18, 1957, near North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Her mother was Joan Marie Nicholas, and her biological father was Miguel Angel Rosich. Her parents divorced when she was still a baby, and her mother later married Herbert White Jr., a former real estate broker. Herbert became the father who raised her, and Vanna took his last name. She remained deeply close to him and later said she called him every day just to say good morning and tell him she loved him. Vanna's childhood was simple and far removed from Hollywood. She grew up in a warm home filled with games, puzzles, cards, Scrabble, Monopoly, and family time. In her memoir, Vanna Speaks, she also shared some unusual childhood memories. She loved lizards and once tied a small string around a chameleon's leg so it could sit against her clothes and change color. She and a friend even fed raw meat to an alligator they called Mr. Bill near her grandparents' home. The fun quickly became frightening when her younger brother briefly disappeared and the family feared the alligator had harmed him. He was safe, but the moment stayed with her. Vanna was especially close to her mother, Joan, who had also grown up in South Carolina after being taken in by relatives as a baby. Joan gave Vanna a loving home and helped build her confidence. But even that happy childhood could not contain the dream growing inside her. As she finished school, the biggest question became whether a girl from North Myrtle Beach could build a life far beyond the home and family she knew. Rejection, empty pockets, and one big dream. After high school, Vanna moved to Atlanta and attended the Atlanta School of Fashion and Design. She also worked as a model and entered the Miss Georgia USA pageant in 1978. The work gave young Vanna experience in front of people. Her goal was television and acting. In 1979, she moved to Los Angeles and began chasing that dream. The move was exciting, but it was far from easy. Vanna later said she was so short of money that she once slept on the floor because she did not own a bed. She waited tables while going to auditions. She also hired a personal manager she called Tom in her memoir. At first, she hoped he would open doors. Instead, she became uncomfortable with the way he stretched the truth. He lowered her age and advertised a birthday event as though she had already landed major roles. Vanna knew Hollywood could be hard, but she did not want lies to become part of her name. After another young actor from South Carolina reminded her that she had not gone Hollywood, she ended that business relationship. Rejection still followed. She said she attended more than 100 commercial auditions without getting a single job. Then she changed agents and finally booked a commercial after making the room laugh. When asked about her plans after the audition, she honestly replied, "I have a gynecologist's appointment, but you can't come." The joke got attention, and so did she. Her first game show appearance came on The Price is Right in June 1980. She reached contestants' row but never made it on stage. She later remembered Bob Barker telling her to stop looking at the monitor, though she said she was really searching for a friend who was trying to signal prices. That early television moment looked small, but it would be replayed years later after she became famous. Before that could happen, however, Vanna briefly returned to South Carolina in the summer of 1980. Her mother was dying from ovarian cancer, and the dream of fame suddenly had to wait beside a far more painful goodbye. The audition Pat Sajak voted against. After losing her mother, Vanna returned to Los Angeles and kept chasing an acting career. She appeared in small roles in Looker and the 1981 horror film Graduation Day. Another unfinished project was later released as Gypsy Angels in 1990. These jobs gave her camera experience, but they did not bring the security or success she wanted. Vanna had already tried to become a contestant on Wheel of Fortune because she loved games and watched the show, but nothing came from it. Then Susan Stafford left as co-host in October 1982, opening a much bigger opportunity. Vanna entered the search late and became one of 3 substitutes being considered for the job. The audition nearly overwhelmed her. Her knees shook, her mouth trembled, and she could barely speak because she wanted the position so badly. Years later, Pat Sajak revealed an unexpected detail. When creator Merv Griffin seemed ready to choose Vanna, Pat argued for another woman who had more hosting experience. The man who would spend more than 40 years beside her had originally voted against her. Pat confessed this during a 2000 interview while filling in for Larry King. Vanna understood his doubts because she had been nervous and inexperienced. But Merv was not only searching for the most polished broadcaster. He wanted someone warm, glamorous, and easy for viewers to welcome into their homes. He also noticed a natural chemistry between Vanna and Pat that he believed could last. Vanna was hired on Thanksgiving Eve and officially became co-host on December 13, 1982. The role looked simple, but it changed her life. The shy woman Pat had doubted became his longest television partner, and their easy connection soon inspired decades of questions about what was really happening between them. And those questions only grew as fame arrived. When America became obsessed with Vanna, Vanna quickly became much more than the woman beside the puzzle board. Viewers noticed her smile, her calm manner, and the gown she wore each night. Soon, Vanna mania became part of American television culture. Until 1997, she physically turned each tile when a contestant guessed a correct letter. After the board became computerized, she only needed to touch the right space. The change made taping faster, and the show could record a full week of episodes in one day. Vanna received the puzzle answers in advance, so she would know where every letter belonged, but even she made mistakes. She once revealed the wrong letter, forcing the show to throw out the puzzle and begin again. There were other moments viewers rarely saw. A Christmas present decoration once caught on her dress and traveled across the stage with her. She lost a belt, tore hems, and during her first season, she became so excited about a contestant winning a car that she fell flat on her face. She stood up, brushed herself off, and kept moving while the winner joked, "Did you have a nice trip?" Her clothes became almost as famous as the puzzles. The show's site has said she wore more than 7,000 outfits, and after nearly 40 years without repeating one, she finally wore the same outfit again in September 2020. Off camera, she preferred jeans and t-shirts and used her own shoes for comfort. Between takes and while sitting in the makeup room, she often crocheted handmade gifts. She made baby blankets for both of her children and brought them home from the hospital wrapped inside them. Her clapping also became a record. In 2013, Guinness named her television's most frequent clapper after estimating more than 3.4 million claps. Later estimates pushed the number beyond 4.5 million. It all looked cheerful and effortless, but fame arrived with pressure. Those records and wardrobe milestones came much later. Back in 1986, Vanna was still adjusting to fame when her private life was struck by a loss so painful that the cheerful woman viewers knew could no longer hide behind her smile. The love story that ended without warning. In the 1980s, Vanna fell in love with John Gibson, an actor known for The Young and the Restless. He had also worked as a model and Chippendales dancer. The couple became engaged and talked about marriage, while Vanna's fame continued to rise. Then, on May 17, 1986, everything changed. John was flying a plane near Van Nuys Airport when it crashed, skimmed across a road, and burst into flames. He was the only person aboard. Vanna first heard about the accident on the evening news. She tried to reach the airport, but could not get answers. Then came a phone call asking for the name of John's dentist because dental records were needed to identify his body. She later said, "The second I heard about it, I fell to my knees. It was just devastating." Vanna took bereavement leave from Wheel of Fortune, and Susan Stafford briefly returned in her place. The loss was hard enough, but grieving in public made it worse. Vanna said tabloids printed painful and false stories instead of allowing her to mourn. One headline claimed she had brought her lover back from the grave. She called that kind of coverage disgusting. Yet another part of public life helped her survive. Fans wrote to tell her they had also lost someone suddenly. Those messages made her feel less alone. She later said, "I felt loved and I felt protected." The connection was especially deep because her own mother had once lost a fiancé in a car accident only 2 weeks before their planned wedding. Vanna understood that grief could remain even when life moved forward. She kept appearing on television, smiling for contestants while carrying pain that viewers could not see. Her faith also became a source of strength. She said she prayed every day but did not preach because everyone had the right to their own beliefs. Wheel of Fortune remained a steady part of her life while the cameras kept rolling. But as Vanna returned to public view, grief was not the only matter that fame and tabloids would soon force into the open. Fame brought more than pretty dresses. Wheel of Fortune made Vanna famous, but she used that fame in many other ways. Her 1987 memoir, Vanna Speaks, became a bestseller and revealed parts of her childhood, struggles, beliefs, and private life. That same year, however, her wholesome image faced a major test. Playboy published older photos showing her in see-through lingerie and suggestive poses. Vanna had taken the pictures in 1982 before Wheel made her famous because she needed money and did not want to ask her parents for help. She said she never agreed to let Playboy publish them. She filed a $5.2 million lawsuit against the magazine and also sued Hugh Hefner, arguing that the pictures could damage her image. Playboy claimed she had helped arrange the timing to match her memoir, but Vanna denied that story and later dropped both cases. On The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, she apologized and warned others, "Never do anything that you don't want to do. Listen to your instincts and follow it." Her acting work also continued. She played Venus in the 1988 television movie Goddess of Love and later appeared in shows such as The A-Team, 227, L.A. Law, Full House, Married. With children, Just Shoot Me, The King of Queens, and Fresh Off the Boat. She worked at WrestleMania 4, narrated and sang on Santa's Last Ride, and made many appearances as herself. In 1993, she fought a different kind of battle when Samsung used a robot turning letters in an advertisement. Vanna argued that the ad copied her public identity. After a long legal fight, a jury awarded her $403,000. Her fame also became valuable through products and casino slot machines that used the Wheel name and image. Reports estimated her wealth at about $85 million and said licensing could bring her millions beyond her television salary. In 2006, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, with Pat Sajak, Merv Griffin, and Alex Trebek there as witnesses. Yet, long before those later victories arrived, Vanna was still searching for something fame could not provide: a secure family life and peace of her own. Marriage, motherhood, and another loss. 4 years after John Gibson's death, Vanna married restaurant owner George Santo Pietro in 1990. The marriage brought a new start and the family life she deeply wanted. In September 1992, she became pregnant, and Wheel of Fortune turned the happy news into a puzzle. Contestants solved the words "Vanna's pregnant," allowing millions of viewers to share the announcement. But shortly after that episode was taped, Vanna miscarried. She later explained that she had wanted a baby so badly that she could not wait to tell the world. Losing the child after making the news public was crushing. She said there was nothing good about losing a baby. Once again, she leaned on friends, family, fans, prayer, and the thought of what the people she loved would want her to do. Hope finally returned. Vanna gave birth to her son, Nicholas Nico Santo Pietro, in June 1994. Her daughter, Giovanna Gigi Santo Pietro, followed on July 1, 1997. Vanna and George remained together for more than a decade before divorcing in November 2002. The split was described as friendly, but it ended the marriage that had carried her through motherhood. Vanna often brought the children to Wheel tapings, giving them a close view of the television world around her. Years later, Nico looked back on those childhood studio visits in a video shared with viewers in 2023. As adults, Vanna's children chose different paths. Nico became a real estate agent in Los Angeles and celebrated closing his first home sale in 2024. That same year, he and Vanna went viral after making a casual cooking video for a family recipe called Uncle Roy's Chicken. They said the attention was completely unexpected. Gigi became a tattoo artist in Los Angeles. When Snoop Dogg appeared on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Vanna scored what she called mom points by arranging for her daughter, a huge fan, to meet him. But before those later family milestones arrived, Vanna's own romantic life changed again after 2002. Fresh hope soon appeared for her, yet the lasting peace she had wanted for years would once more remain just beyond her reach. The long road back to lasting love. After her divorce, Vanna became engaged to businessman Michael Kay. Their relationship lasted from 2004 to 2006, but they never married. For a woman whose love life had already included sudden death, miscarriage, marriage, and divorce, another ending could have made her close herself off. Instead, her next serious relationship began naturally. In 2012, a mutual friend brought building developer John Donaldson to a barbecue Vanna was hosting. She remembered looking at him and thinking, "He's really cute." They talked for a long time that evening and soon became a couple. John founded JDC Construction Plus Development Group, but Vanna valued something more basic about him. Their life did not depend on public drama. "It just works," she told people. "He lets me be me. I let him be him. There is no drama." As the years passed, she often said they already felt married. In 2021, she described him as more than a boyfriend, saying he felt like a fiancé and a husband. In 2023, she explained that they both knew they were the one for each other and did not need a ceremony to prove it. Shortly before the wedding announcement, she said they were happy and did not need a piece of paper. Then, they quietly made it official together. On January 21, 2026, Vanna surprised fans by announcing that she and John had married in a private ceremony. She wrote, "Surprise! We got married," and said they wanted to make their love official after more than a decade together. One photo showed John carrying his bride. The marriage brought a joyful new chapter at age 68, after nearly 15 years as a couple. The marriage closed one chapter, but it did not erase the question viewers had carried for decades. Through every engagement, breakup, and family change, Pat remained beside her on television. Their bond looked unusually strong, and fans wondered whether the explanation told the whole story. To understand why those rumors survived for so long, the focus had to return to the chemistry, jokes, and understanding that made Pat and Vanna seem impossible to separate. Lovers, feuders, or something in between. From the early years, viewers noticed that Vanna and Pat seemed comfortable in a way many television partners did not. They joked easily, read each other's moods, and rarely appeared tired of one another. That natural rhythm led tabloids to build romance stories around them. In 1987, Pat joked that one newspaper had made them everything from lovers to feuders, and that the truth was somewhere in between. They sometimes played along. An April Fool's joke claimed they were a couple, and years later, Pat laughed that they probably should not test whether a real romance would work. He said their schedule helped because they worked closely for a few days and then spent time apart. That gave them room to return refreshed instead of becoming tired of each other. Pat called Vanna beautiful, charming, and far from a prima donna. There were also strange stories from the show's younger years. In 2012, Pat admitted that he and Vanna sometimes crossed the street for margaritas between tapings. He joked that after 2 or 3 or 6, they returned and had trouble recognizing the alphabet. Yet their real connection was less wild. Vanna repeatedly called Pat a brother and her best friend. In 2019, she said they had only argued once in 36 years, and the fight was about ketchup on a hot dog. Vanna said ketchup was fine. Pat, who was from Chicago, believed mustard belonged there instead. Their small disagreement became funny proof that the relationship was not secretly full of tension. They also learned to understand each other without speaking. Vanna said she could tell from the way Pat entered or walked upstairs whether he was in a good or bad mood, and he could do the same with her. "We speak each other's language," she explained. The closeness came from thousands of hours and a rhythm neither needed to explain. Still, Pat's humor sometimes crossed into uncomfortable territory. As viewers questioned his comments, their familiar friendship no longer looked quite as simple as it once had. One awkward joke could suddenly make that easy bond seem very different. When Pat's jokes went too far. By 2023, some viewers felt Pat's jokes with Vanna had become less playful and more awkward on screen. During one episode, Vanna asked whether he had any mysteries people should know about. Pat replied that there were no mysteries, though he was baffling. Then he asked whether she remembered when he used to visit her in prison. The audience laughed uncertainly. Vanna answered, "I don't remember that." Pat continued by asking if he had confused her with someone else and suggested she had other problems at the time. Vanna told viewers, "He's joking." The moment added to a run of comments that some people found uncomfortable, but Vanna did not present it as proof of a private feud. Their strongest test had actually come earlier, when Pat faced a serious health emergency. In November 2019, he needed urgent surgery for a blocked intestine. A taping day was delayed, and Vanna was asked to host Wheel in Pat's place. She had spent 37 years beside Pat, but standing in his place felt completely different. Her biggest worry was his health, and she said being on the set without him felt strange. Still, years of listening had taught her how the game worked. She hosted the December episodes with Mickey and Minnie Mouse helping at the board, then returned for another week in January 2020 with Pat's daughter Maggie assisting her. Vanna admitted she made a few small mistakes, but none changed the game. Pat later praised her for accepting the challenge, saying she could easily have refused because hosting was not her normal job. He also noticed that the audience seemed proud of her. That temporary switch showed how much each had learned from the other. It also proved Vanna could carry the program when needed. In May 2023, she finally became a contestant on a celebrity episode Against Jeopardy! Hosts Ken Jennings and Mayim Bialik, while Maggie worked at the board. After 4 decades, Vanna was no longer only Pat's partner. She had shown she could host, compete, and stand alone. Then money turned that independence into a much bigger fight. 40 years beside Pat, but not equal pay. For decades, Vanna's place beside Pat looked equal on screen, but reports in 2023 raised questions about whether she was treated equally behind it. A source told People that Vanna had earned about $3 million a year for 18 years without a raise. Pat's exact pay was not confirmed in the information provided, but reports said Vanna wanted the same salary as him, or possibly more, rather than only half. The source rejected a claim that she had asked for 50% of Pat's pay. The source said she had spent years hearing that she was lucky to have the job and could lose it if she fought back. After more than 40 years on the show, she was finally ready to argue for her value. The timing made everything more tense. Pat announced in June 2023 that the coming season would be his last as regular host. Ryan Seacrest was chosen to replace him. Vanna had already said she did not want to imagine Wheel without Pat because the public saw them as a team. She compared them to Ken and Barbie, 2 names that seemed to belong together. Behind that warm image, however, she now had to decide whether to remain, what she should be paid, and whether the show understood what she had contributed. Sony Pictures Television said it wanted her back, and negotiations continued. In September 2023, Vanna extended her syndicated Wheel contract through the 2025-26 season. She also extended her Celebrity Wheel of Fortune deal. The agreement meant she would not leave simply because Pat was retiring. Yet the debate changed the way some viewers saw their partnership. Pat had been the host who spoke, controlled the game, and was widely treated as the central figure. Vanna had spent the same decades building the show's image, greeting families, wearing thousands of gowns, and becoming just as recognizable. The fight was not presented as a battle against Pat personally. It was about respect, money, and the future after him. For the first time, the woman known for silently revealing letters was demanding that her service speak for itself. Vanna finally reveals what Pat really meant to her. When Pat's retirement became real, Vanna admitted that she considered leaving too. She could not picture Wheel of Fortune without the man who had shared the stage with her since 1982. In May 2024, she remembered her frightened first day and Pat telling her, "Calm down, it's going to be okay." She called him her teacher and compared their career to the best book she had ever read, even though every book must end. Before Pat's final episode on June 7th, Vanna recorded an emotional message. She said 8,000 episodes had passed in what felt like a moment. The memories she valued most were not only the jokes seen on television. They had traveled, eaten countless meals, celebrated, cried, and watched their children grow up together. She called him a brother and lifelong friend. She said their family memories mattered more than any rumor because the friendship continued long after the studio lights went dark. That was her clearest answer to the rumors. Their bond was deep, but she described it as family, friendship, and trust, not a secret romance. After Pat left, Vanna stayed and worked beside Ryan Seacrest. She later joined Ryan on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune beginning in September 2025. Her life away from Wheel made the difference between close friendship and lasting romance clearer than it had ever been before. Then, in May 2026, strangers attacked her appearance after she attended a South Carolina golf event in casual clothes with her hair tied back. Some mocked her hands, arms, and age. Fans rushed to defend her as beautiful, kind, gracious, and natural. Vanna had said she preferred less makeup away from work because it helped her feel like herself. That simple honesty matched the truth about Pat. Viewers had watched them age together and often mistook comfort for romance. Pat was the trusted partner who shared 41 years of work, laughter, and family history. John was the man Vanna chose to marry after nearly 15 years by her side. Vanna never needed to turn that final answer on the board. She had been saying it for years. Do you think Vanna and Pat's relationship lasted because they were never romantically involved? And could Wheel of Fortune ever feel the same without the partnership that defined it for more than 40 years? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time.